Hi, welcome to Barvotti's 8th live screening of Tools for Creatives. I am Phoebe Bradbury, and today I will be demonstrating some of the tools that I use every day in my art studio. I wouldn't want to be without them, and I find new uses for them all the time. There will be promotional offers during the program, and the promo codes will be active during the demonstration and for about half an hour after. The current time is 12 noon Central, March the 9th, 2022, so the promo codes don't work on other days, only today and in the hour and a half or 2 hours starting from now. And right now the promotions are only available on Amazon, and I just want to say that for the first time since we started, and this is our, which one is it, 58th? Mm-hmm. No, this is our 58th show. This is the first time we have all our products on sale, and there are we have a promo for all our products, and you have your choice of whichever one you want for 25% off today in those hours. Okay. I'm back. Okay, so today, because for the first time we have our all our products available, I'm going to go over them briefly at the beginning, and then I want to get into doing various demonstrations. So just as I'm saying that, I'm not showing you something. So Prabin says I should be on here all the time. So I just want to show you this. This is our.
You're not in focus.
I'm not in focus.
Yeah.
Okay. This is what our products are sent in. This is a little bit battered because I've had it in a drawer for a while, but it's a ecologically good for the ecology, let's put it that way. It's a simple craft envelope, no plastics in it, maybe one little plastic sticker there. And these are the 1 centimeter or 10 millimeter shapers. Okay, that just took me a second there. And today we have, and they all come in a similar type of package suited to their size. So we have these ones here, and let me just see if I can go in a little closer to show you the ends. Oops. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. So just before I show you them, I'm going to pull it back a little bit. So those are 10 millimeters. Oops, missing one here. And these ones are the 7 millimeters. You can see the difference in size here. And they all come 5 in a package. That's the way we market them. That's just the shapers. And here I'm just opening a new package of the 4 millimeters. Just so, I think I better bring it out just a wee bit. Bring it out a wee bit. There we go. Those are the 4 millimeters. And these ones are the 3 millimeters. So tiny, tiny, tiny little shapers. Medium-sized shapers, great for painting. The tiny ones are great too. I use them all the time, but I use them in poured paintings. And the big ones are, they're a good size. They're about the size of a medium to large ordinary paintbrush. That's probably the size I would choose to use because I like to paint large. But I use them for everything, and if you go to our page of our store, what you will find is an image that shows you what you use each one of these ends for. So let's go back to they all have the same kind of ends. So this first one here, this is a round chisel. Oops, I'm just turning it a little bit. This is, I should first of all say that the size of the set is measured by the, here I'll just use this one to explain. It's this length on the flat chisel. So that's one of the very basic ones. Notice it's a nice sharp flat chisel with a nice sharp end, can make very incisive marks. I don't usually demonstrate too much with these, but mostly because we haven't been able to, because we're only supposed to demonstrate what we have for sale. And the flat chisel, according to this thing we got, but according to the way I use them, I actually use them for everything. For blending and mixing paint, for creating flat, even strokes, to blend and smudge pastels and charcoal, that sort of thing. So I'm just reading it off the thing that's available to you on our store on Amazon. So that's the flat chisel. This one here, I think, is the round cup chisel. See, that's a picture of it sideways. You can see it has a little flat edge here, and then it has a cupped edge here, and it also has a sharp end, which is probably not quite 10 millimeters or 1 centimeter. It's just a little bit narrower than that. But all of these have a cup chisel, and the cup chisel, according to this, is to adjust contours and edges, remove paint, and carve paint. Now, the reason it's great for carving paint is because it's got the peculiar shape, which gives it actually more strength. But once again, I use all of them, so for almost everything. So this one here is actually my favorite one. And it is called the angle chisel. If you look at it right there, it's in the middle. And it's at one side, you can see that it's got a fairly long, flat surface there. So that's actually longer than 1 centimeter, but it is at an angle. And it's got an extremely sharp point, and it's got two flat, nice flat sides. So the angle chisel is very good for making precise marks. And even on a large painting, you can use this for making very precise marks. Great for creating expressive strokes. You can use it. It's so tiny on the end, you can use it for applying masking fluid. And all of these are great for applying masking fluid because nothing sticks to them. It's not like a brush. You just peel the masking fluid off later. So if you're doing watercolor or any other type of color that requires masking fluid, these are super for that. And what else was I going to say about, oh yeah, the flat chisel. And shape and smooth small areas of clay. So people do use these for clay carving, and I've got 6 in this one. And I've done that too, I think. Sorry. I've got 2 of something in there. Anyway, oh. I think I moved it from over here. That's why I had 6. That makes sense. Good. Want to be organized. Okay. So they are used for carving clay as well. And if you've ever done any clay carving, you realize that a tool like this can be wonderful for smoothing over edges that you want to have smooth, of course. So that is the angle chisel, and this one is it's just a big round point that just goes to a pointy point. It's called the taper point. Here we have it again. Got it here. Blend charcoal and pastel, apply and remove and carve paint, create linear strokes, create broad, forceful marks. Yeah, okay. And the final one is the rounded chisel, which is just a where is it? Round cup. Oh, it's a round cup. It's not a chisel. Blend charcoal and pastel. Move heavy paint because it's quite a strong one if you look at it. Control thick color. Create soft edges. Kind of depends on what you're using, what type of medium you're using them for. I use them only for acrylics because I don't use other mediums, and I do not use them for oil because I don't use oil. I know that with the with the other ones, the silicone blades get soft will get soft if you're using, what are they called? Solvents, yeah. Because silicone dissolves in solvents, but that doesn't mean you can't use them. That just means that you should rinse them off right after use in water, and they will be fine. And I've tested this because I had somebody email me about the fact that the edge of one of my things, one of these got soft when using solvents. And when I researched, I found that for a certain type of cold wax things, instead of heating the wax, they use solvents for it. And I did test it. I bought some solvent and tested, and it actually went a little wiggly. And I put it back in the water after letting it sit in the solvent for half an hour, and it came right back to a nice sharp shape again. Oops, I'm not right in the thing. It came back to, so this is the area that went a little bit wiggly. And when I put it back in the water, took it out of the solvent, it went back to this shape. So I know from listening to people who use cold wax that these works just fine with cold wax. You just be careful with the use of solvents, that's all. Okay, so that's the new, or the complete now, finally complete, set of shapers that we have. So if you go and look to our store or online and search for Barvotti, or on Amazon and search for Barvotti, these are available right now in the United States. We expect them to be available fairly soon, in the next few months, in the United Kingdom and also in Canada. But who knows, maybe other places too. Okay, I'm going to take these. Oh, I should show the cardboard thing has, thank you for your purchase. Our goal is to provide high-performing tools for creatives at a fair price, and we will, just let us know if there's anything wrong with the tool, and we will look after it. And a little list of how to care for your tools, and how to find us, barvotti.com. We're a little bit behind in our website right now. We're not even putting our live streams up there. They will be up fairly soon, and we live stream right now to Amazon Live, but we also have been streaming to YouTube and our Facebook pages and things like that. So all of that will be available to you. Okay. And now I'm going to show, oops, I better put these back in the right places. So I have a nice little container for them. And now I'm going to show you the ones that I use the most, and that's them. These are the mottlers. And we call them mottlers, people used to call them shapers too, but we call them mottlers because we want to be able to distinguish them when we're talking about them. And they also are called mottlers because this is the typical type of handle for a mottler size or style. Here I go. Mottler style brush, artist brush. So if you have a brush and it's, I don't think I might have an old ratty one here somewhere. Nope, I don't. But a flat brush like that is usually called a mottler. And mottlers generally are kind of like workhorses of the art studio, or certainly are for mine. And these have really assisted me in keeping my studio clean, because a lot of the jobs that you would do with a mottler, like, how do I say it? Okay. If you were putting gesso on a large canvas, you could use this, and then you don't have the problem of cleaning up a brush. You just wipe the silicone blade clean. So I just wanted to show briefly, the silicone blades are nice and broad, and they're very strong. It's a medium firm, very sharp blade, comes to a very sharp point, making it pretty easy to make very incisive marks on your paper. And just as soon as I'm finished showing you this, I am going to do some. So, And the other thing that I really like, besides the compressed plastic handle, which means that it doesn't split like wood or disintegrate, it has has this lovely hole in which I can hang it up around on the various things in my studio to get it off my work surface. So I really like that aspect of it, and I like the handles. And I've been using these for years. These are my show ones, and I sometimes accidentally use them when I'm here. So I have some more here. And the other thing that I do with them is I make tools out of them so that I can make particular specific marks, and I'll demonstrate some of those today. So here we go. So 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, and 3 inch. Put them back in the show box, Phoebe. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to demonstrate, okay. Is that a wax paper one that you showed there, Preben?
No, yeah, it was
Okay, okay. I'm going to show something like this, or do something like this. This is a, oops, I got my microphone tangled around my ankle cord. So this is a little painting done very quickly on butcher paper, and what I have here is some butcher paper. So I'm going to do something like that. A butcher paper's got a plasticized side, and the other side is just paper. And because I like this so much, I named it, and I'm keeping it, and I'm going to digitize it. It's called Blue Scarab. Did it in October 2021. So this was probably done in one of the first shows, and I can tell you what size of blade I used there. Oh, not that one. Nope. Here it is. So I can tell that I was using this blade because it's 1.5 inches. And I was making little lines like this. So these are done very quickly, sometimes with only less than a minute or so. And I'm going to try and achieve that state of mind that allows me to do that today. I may not be able to do that. This is another one that I did that didn't actually get a name. And I will show you one that I did yesterday. So that's one that I did yesterday during the show. And it seems I'm less, how should I put it? I think I'm less relaxed than I used to be. Maybe I'm a little more invested in what the outcome is. So to me, my husband likes it. I actually like it now. I always like my stuff better the next day, by the way. And here's the other one. And what he liked about this is that I didn't turn it all into one color, which I often do if I'm doing them on Yupo paper. I might do a demonstration with Yupo paper today. We will see. I might not have time. On Monday, I had a long list of, this is what I had for Monday. And I didn't have to show the tools, so we've taken 20 minutes to show the tools. So I will do 1 or 2 on freezer paper. I might not do the Yupo paper. I have the stuff to do a pour, and I don't think I have the stuff to do the metallic on Yupo, but we're going to do a couple of the freezer ones, maybe a pour, and I'll explain some of the problems I've had with doing pours in the Yucatan Peninsula where the moisture in the air is so high. What I've discovered is that my paintings are not really drying. And in case you don't know what a poured painting is, here's one. And let's see if I can bring it up a little bit. Oops. So you can see it's a small painting. It doesn't have to be a small painting, but the beauty of doing them small is then you can scan them and then you can send them away to be printed as large as you like. And I'm going to stop doing the poured painting now, and I'll come back to it later. We're going to do the freezer paper 1 and freezer paper 2, and we'll get painting. Get painting. Okay, so colors. And there's one color. And I'm thinking, is it too big? Oh, I have to zoom out. Okay, thank you, Preben. I have a wonderful partner here who is my husband, which is great. And we are learning to work together quite closely, probably more closely than we've had to for years, just to produce this show. So it's been an adventure. And I think it's working out. Okay, so here I've just sort of splashed some stuff on, and it seems to work better for me if I just start doing it and become less aware of anybody watching me, but let's just see what I can do. Oops! I just dropped a whole bunch of stuff on the floor. I'm going to stop and pick it up. The reason I had to stop and pick it up is because I may be using some of those tools as we're working through here. So this is a, I think, oh boy. Well, I believe it is an ultramarine blue. So I have one there that is not got a name on it, and it looks like an ultramarine blue to me. So I'm just going to start playing with this. So what I'm trying to demonstrate to you is that I can make many different marks with these. So let's see, let's try this one here. Okay. Ooh, this is a very waxy piece of paper here. And I can put flat color on. And as you notice, it's mixing all the colors. So this just laying color in using one of these. I'm not putting any pressure on it. And then if I want to make certain marks, can you see it? It is, okay, great. I can just play with it that way. If I open I can scrape off. Alternately, I can lay down. And this is just with a little one. Oh, how am I going here? These are my sort of characteristic flag marks that I like. And some days I make them better than I do on other days. So you can see I'm an abstract painter, and I happen to like grids. And it was the funniest thing, because in art school I didn't know that, and as soon as I started painting, even if because we didn't just paint we didn't have any courses in abstract art, but nobody objected if you painted abstractly in your classes, so it's kind of the way. But people looked at my stuff and said, "Oh, you like grids?" And I thought, gee, I didn't know that. So anyway, so what I'm trying to show you here is how much fun it can be to just take a bit of paint, splatter it out. It's even more fun if you add music. And if I had music that I was royalty free that I could play at this time, I would probably choose something either jazzy or Mozart. But I just haven't really researched what can I use at the background right now, because that really helps me to get out of my head so I can do things. So I'm just continuing to overlay the same type of mark over and over again. And when I started doing ones on Yupo paper, I tended to do them in a splot in the middle. And the other reason it's doing in a splot in the middle is because I want to make sure that I don't go outside of your of what you can see. So, and that's something we've been working on quite a lot here. So I want to now demonstrate how easy it is to take this off. Well, I shouldn't actually, I should just leave it. I've already showed you how to do that by just going like, And you probably notice that if you leave it on for a little while and then you scrape it off later, you get ghosting pictures of what's underneath. So it's not necessary to have absolute white underneath, and you can even start with a different color. So let's just play, okay, let's put this, oh, how I clean them. I'm getting so excited now because I just keep damp rags in a big jug on my top of my desk here. And they go into a pail of water after. I rinse them out and put them in the washing machine. I don't bother drying them, of course, because I want to keep them damp, because when they're damp, they're perfect for cleaning these just like that. So now what I'm going to do is just take one of these ones. Okay. That was the first one I made parallel line maker. It's a very rough one. I just did it, I think I might have done it during the show. But I really like it because it's not really, I don't like things that are particularly even, though I do have them, and I have made them, and I do use them occasionally, if, you know, like precisely repeating lines, not necessarily what I do. So you can see how something like that just adds a little bit of a different kind of mark, and you can, if you want to, make these go like that, which is a lot of fun. And I think I'm just about through with this one. No. Now see, that changed things because I made the lines go in it. No, that was okay. I'm talking to myself here. I think I'll leave that. So that'll be one of them. And what I've done is I've, to speed things up, for changing things around, I've put all my things inside of these. Here, let's see if I can show it to you. Cases, so that when I'm done with it, I don't have to take it all apart to put it away. I can just take it apart, take it down, and pull another one up. So here's another one ready to go. And I can do another water. How am I doing? Oh, great. That didn't take very long, did it? So that gave me an idea, and so we're going to go a little bit off now. And we're going to, I had this prepared and I didn't know what to do with it. It's just a very inexpensive little thing I probably picked up in the equivalent of, I don't know, Michael's or Walmart or something like that. I do a lot of studies just to see how things work, and I had an extra gold, so that's why it got on there, because I was tired of always painting on white. So here we are. We're going to do something like we just did a few minutes ago. We're not going to do it on the wax paper, on the plasticized paper, but we're going to do it on this sort of slippery gold surface here, and we'll just see how it turns out. I really like working with the blues, so I might do a bit of that, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So this won't be, oh, could it be? Just a minute. I was thinking I could do a raised, no, it's not going to be gooey. Let's see what happens here. Ooh. Let's choose a different one. This one, it's still irregular, another reason why I like it. And I think I might just, so maybe I'll just go start from up here. Ooh, I think I'll go like this. So I'm not going to worry too much if the bottom doesn't show through. Let's just see what happens. I want to scrape through that really bad. So I imagine this painting, if it gets to be one, will be sort of have burnished gold edges with maybe little bits of gold showing through in different spots. depending on whether I add, I think actually it would be nice to add a darker blue again, but this time I want to add phthalo blue. This is phthalo blue. This will make it a little darker. So a phthalo blue is a blue with, the one I just put on is non-transparent, which in a sense was probably not a great idea to put as the first one in. So now I'm just playing. But this phthalo blue is quite transparent, but it's a nice dark color. Now here I start making my funny little flags again. So something like this, you know, if you wanted to make a gift or something, you were just practicing your art things. Pretty easy to get together the stuff to do it. Acrylic paints, some medium, some great artist tools like these that we have here. Now I'm trying not to go right to the edge, but then part of me is trying not to go right to the edge, and the other part of me is saying, go to the edge. So I'm going to listen to the go to the edge thing here. And I should let you know that I am on completely uncharted territory. I haven't, I've just been painting. I've painted a lot. I've been painting since I was 12 years old, but I've never done anything exactly like this. But I've always been an experimenter, so this is right up my alley. But so there's one mark. Now it's not. And am I happy with those marks? Oh, not really. But because it's so, how do I say, movable, I can just play with this for a while, just have fun with it. And I'm going to do a little bit of, that. So maybe I should try, I like it better when I can go right down and get really clean marks. So I'm going to use something a little harder. I hope. Where's my marks? I had a whole bunch of these kind of things in a big. Oh, I know. I went and stuck them in another. I'm busily changing. Reorganizing my whole studio, etc. So here, what I'm doing is it's the equivalent of being a child with soapy paint and doing a finger painting. So, and I absolutely loved finger painting when I was a child. So this is it. And it's worse than a pile of spaghetti because nothing here is lined up. But you can always tell if you follow, if you say grabbed here, where I just stopped, you could then follow this one. You could play a game and you could follow it like this. Even after it's dry, you could do this. And so you're playing a game, and you're playing a game. So it's almost like you have made your own puzzle. See, I'm still playing the same game, and I'm still on this, and I've gone back a long ways. So I've never actually gone through that before, but I did do one painting where I called it beginning and end, and I didn't actually follow it like I just did now for you guys. So that just goes to show how how rich this can be. Now, one of the other things you can do is you can, which I like the idea of, is that you can make all these wiggly lines, and then you can You can put a secret message in there. So, this secret message painting, let me go in. Secret message painting. I don't want to put it down on the wet surface, but if you look at it, you can see I cannot love you. Okay. Now, that's a fairly ambiguous secret message, because you could add another word that you could just say anymore, and you could mean by that any more than I already do, or you could also say anymore. Anyway, that's my sample of a secret message. You could do it here, but I'm tempted to do it here, except for the fact that I've already shown that if you start, where did I start? Is it here? No. Ooh, where did I start?
Top corner.
This here? That one? Right there?
No, look further in.
This one?
No.
I don't know where I started. Because I wasn't actually, I think this is it here. Oh,
It's up in the right-hand corner.
that's the right-hand corner? Oh, there it is. There it is. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, now you're backtracking.
Okay, so I'm just going to go right there. I'm going to put a little mark there so I know where to start. And I can, let's see, what have I got here? Something that'll scrape it off nicely. Right there. I should be able to scrape it off with something. Oh dear. I need one of my special tools, I think. I don't really have any. Right there. So that's the starting point, isn't it? Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's it. You're saying that works. Okay, that could be the end. But I'm going to just leave this. I'm going to, because I like it, I'm going to put my name on it. And I have to do that right now, so I might as well show you what I'm going to do here.
You're out of frame.
I'm out of frame. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'll go in.
No.
How's that? Because I'm going to put my name at the bottom here. There, I think. There's the color. And there it is. Okay. So because I want to scrape my name in, I have to kind of scrape a little bit of paint off because it's way too thick for me to put my initials in. Maybe not. So for something like this, it's just a momentary work, but if I put my initial on it, then it proves that I did it. And one of the things I learned in art school was I never really liked to sign my name because I thought it ruined the picture. But as soon as I started selling, people insisted on you putting your name on every piece. And so to devise ways of putting my name on them that didn't spoil my aesthetic was not really that easy. And I think this might help. Well, that's smaller. So PA. All I want is PKB. Here we go. Now, I have the paint mixed up, so I can actually do this. And the other thing I can do is I can go over that and I can put my initial in gold. And I think that's what I will do with the brush. But I don't think I'll do that right now. So it's drying as I'm watching. So this will have sort of burnished edges, and I'm going to just rub it in a little bit so that it will look a little bit like that, because right now it's got a little bit of stuff going on. So it's nice to. I don't have. a brush. So, where's... Okay. Use the finger. Yep. Here we go.
You're out of frame.
Okay.
Scroll
I'm just using a finger to go around and sort of get that sort of weird edge off there. And where's my paint? I don't have a lot of paint laying around because I've used most of it on there. So there we go. I just wanted it to look sort of flat as you looked at it directly, not like there was a ragged edge. And it's something I can touch up later. But if you're just doing it for sort of like what I'm doing this for, it's a work, a study in the workshop. It's still marketable, but I don't want to have to do a whole lot of work towards it. This is not a major work or anything like that, so I just want to have it look presentable. And I think it's fairly presentable. It's a lot of fun doing. Okay, so that was sort of a takeoff from doing, let's see. So we did Freezer Paper 1, we did Paint on Gold Panel 2, 1242. I think we're ready to try a pour, maybe a little bit early. Let's try a pour. So if you just go back to the poured paintings, can you go back to here? Mm-hmm. Okay. So am I here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a poured painting. It was done on a little 8 by 8 inch. I'm trying to see if I'm showing up here. I guess I am. I did it on a little 8 by 8 inch panel, and I sent the image. I scanned it at an extremely high resolution, and I sent it to Mexico City, and they made me this lovely meter by meter copy of it. And they said that I could actually make it much taller and much wider. And the reason for that, and that's the reason why I liked poured paintings, is that the resolution is actually molecular if it's done properly, so that when you see these different lines, you're actually looking at fluids coming together that have different molecular weights. And I haven't really been that successful in doing that here. I did a few, and I'm going to try one more today. And the other thing I like about it is you never really know what you're going to see. And when it gets to, you pour it on a board. I'm trying to find one, a little one. Here's a little one. Okay. You pour your paint on a board like this. Can you see it, Prabhat? Mm-hmm. Okay, and usually it's poured like this, and then you tip it around and stuff like that. But what I do is when it's just about dry and has stopped flowing completely, because you don't want to do this when it's flowing, I go and I work into it by drawing lines through it to make a different story, to make it into a story, because otherwise it's just beautiful globs of beautiful paint on a panel. And this one also has an acrylic surface. So when I'm finished, if I really like them, I put an acrylic finish on it. So this one is like that, and I just want to show you some of the funny things about it, which I enjoy when it's really large, which I can't even see. That it caused the demise of the dinosaurs. And we happened to be living in Chicxulub at that time when I discovered it, because I didn't even know about it, because we were out sailing somewhere when the word got out about how the dinosaurs. So there it was on a poster in a restaurant in Chicxulub, and I thought, oh my goodness, that sort of looks like what I'm painting. And so this is one of the ones that I think of like when it hit and all of the horrible things that were happening. And after having it on my wall, for a while I didn't really like it. I thought it was quite negative. But now I have discovered all of these sort of little devils. Up there's one that's a funny little, can you see it on there, Preben? The painting. and I can just be looking at it sideways and I think, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's one there, see? Cheekbones, big eyebrow, a little tiny eyebrow, etc. Anyway, that's the fun of this type of painting. Other people do it for other reasons, but I like to do it, well, I just like to do it. It's a lot of fun. And I've been working on a few problems, so I'm going to come back over here. And I'm going to try and solve them today. And one of the problems I've had, I'm just looking for the one I screwed up. Okay, one of the problems I've had is that the air is very moist here in the Yucatan Peninsula. And as a result, my, my paintings have become very, oh, there it is. Have become very, they don't dry. And then so the next day when I go and look at them, they actually fall apart or the paint comes off of them. I'm used to them drying within a few hours. So here's my setup. Preben's going to show you where our stuff is used and how it's used, and I will get it set up and I'll be ready to go in about probably 2 or 3 minutes. I'm back. Okay, great. We're ready to do another pour. I just want to show you, can I do this now? Oh, I'm having a little trouble here with my, okay. This is the one we did the other day. We're going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, and it was, if you were here, you would have noticed that it was very pretty. It had all these lovely colors on it. It didn't have this white line on it. That just happened a few minutes ago or half an hour ago. But there was these areas here, and this had dried for 2 days because I did it yesterday. I came in and I thought, oh, those areas look a bit funny. And I touched them and they were still absolutely wet. And of course, I couldn't just stop touching. I just dug in and see what it was. And there were big globs of different colors that hadn't dried. And they were completely different colors than had been expressed on the surface. So basically, it's a ruined pour. You can see from the edges of it, it was actually, you know, fairly attractive by most standards. And this is interesting to me because I've always done this in the Yucatan. I usually have an air conditioner. I do have an air conditioner in here, but it doesn't stay on very long. And I don't think it takes the moisture out of the air. The other thing is, it's been a couple of years, but I had never ever had something like that happen before. And I had used house paints to pour, I had used very inexpensive Mexican paints to pour, and I had finally landed on good quality paints imported from the United States, because I could not get the kind of paints, acrylic paints that I wanted. And I had done about 50 of these very successfully, never having anything like that happen. So I'm going, okay, I can't show this again until I try and I try until I know what I'm doing. But then I thought, well, I could do a pour and I could improve everything and see if it works. People should know that when you're doing art and trying different things, that, you know, the final result here is the fact that I'd maybe done 30 of other ones. Well, I'd actually done 30 or 40 really good other ones. This was, I don't actually, for something like this, I don't count the ones that are bad. But if I do a pour of 6, like I used to do 6 a day for a while there, and 4, 5 of them would always be good. So now I wasn't having any technical problems. So I was very surprised with this technical problem all of a sudden. So I'm going to repeat it today, and I'm going to use extremely good quality paint. And when I say that, I'm saying I'm going to use some paint that I have kept. And if you're an acrylic painter, you would know there's the paints you can afford, and there's the paints that you wish you could afford. And sometimes they're both pretty good, but sometimes one kind of paint is actually better than the other. So today we're going to use golden paints, which are, I think, probably the best quality internationally. I personally don't use golden paints because when I buy paints, I buy it by the gallon, not by this size, you know. And I have these sizes because I would buy little sets of them when I went to. When I saw them on sale, I would buy little sets of them because I just like to be able to see what they are. And these are golden fluid paints. I would love to be a person who represented the company with golden fluid paints, but I think that's quite a hard road. Now, I am going to use the pour paint, the white paint that I had used before. So in general, this kind of a pour, I probably shouldn't have. I'm worried a little bit now that I've forgotten some techniques or something. And it's quite possible because I'm, as my dad would say, I'm no spring chicken. He's not even around to say it anymore. But so I don't really remember. I do believe there was no problem with bubbles in the white paint, and the white paint just had to be fluid enough to flow quite nicely. And you had to have enough around to put it in there. You don't necessarily need to use white paint, but I'm out of frame. Okay, just a little. Oh, I'm just out of frame when I'm hand. So I'm going to squirt this. My favorite paints, which I rarely use, into this bottle to see if it's going to make a difference. And I think it might. And if it doesn't, well, I've learned something, that it's not the quality of the paint. It's so we're eliminating cause. And the other thing I think that might be happening is that my paints aren't going deep enough in here. So I'm sort of squishing them in. So that was quinacridone magenta. Now, the quinacridone magenta that I used the other day was a different color, and it was from a different paint supplier, and it was slightly different color. And so I'm kind of interested to see what will happen, because I do have a sheet of paper from Golden, which you can find. It's about mixing different colors to get one. And one of my favorite colors is quinacridone red, and according to them, if you mix quinacridone magenta. Oops, not coming out. Well, these are a little dry, but I can, with this color, which is a Hansa yellow medium, you can get quinacridone red. Oops, come on. So let's get it. Let's see if we do get, ooh. And I am sort of squirting it down with a little force this time, so I'm hoping that it's going through. I'm not going to put any black in there, and I probably won't put the iridescent copper, but I will put some blue, phthalo blue, because it's a lovely transparent color, and it'll give us some purples that we might like. And, ooh, I dipped that right in there. So, and we won't add any white to the top. So what do we got here? So I'm going to save this iridescent copper, squirt it on the top, and I'm going to try not to, anyway, we're going to make another attempt. You are going to be witnesses to my success or failure. And this will end our day today. Okay, so the cup has got various things in it. They are mixing according to their specific gravity. I'm putting the cup on the surface of a fairly good quality board. It's one I bought from Amazon, so it's a pine, sanded pine board, so it's like the best I've ever used. And I haven't bothered to paint it because the paint should cover it completely. And now we're going to just see if we can get a decent pour out of this. Ooh, that is pretty. Okay, so this is starting to look a little bit more like what I used to get. Ooh, oh my goodness. It's very nice. So, what a relief. But now I have to, I forgot, I meant to put a turntable underneath it so I could turn it easily. And I can't do that. And the colors are just fabulous. And let's see. I've got a little. So what you can do is you can sort of, if you see something you don't like, you can sort of, that suggests you have some control. It's very difficult to have control. I'm just going to put this along the edge. And I should be using my mottlers, but when I was doing this, I didn't have mottlers. I'd never used them for this purpose. So that's something. I think they would do a much better job than that. Let's see. Let's see if I can get 1 inch. So if you do this wrong, the prettiest picture can just go falling off. If you see something that you really like, the part that you like can just go falling off the side. And the other thing that's very important here is that you really should have oh, I love that blue. You really should have an absolutely flat surface. So my hands are going to get really dirty. Oh, I know. I had some spray water. I was going to put some water on the corner just to help it move. Oh, look at what happened when I sprayed it with water. Goodness. I just got millions of what they call cells, which maybe I didn't really want. But. So the goal here is to get to the point where it stops. Stops flowing. And I'm just going to go along the edge here. And then, of course, the other thing that I want to do is I want to get on here and put some little marks on it when it stopped flowing. And I liked it much better before I sprayed the water. So did I learn something this time? Yep, it was, if you're going to put water on it, use an eyedropper. Or wet the corners before you start. That probably would be the better one. So I think I have quite a lot on here, so I'm thinking it probably would be good to get rid of some of it. Because maybe the reason my stuff didn't dry. So using the damp rag works on my hands too. And the other thing you can do, I'm not sure if I'm remembering this properly, but you can go over certain areas that you don't like. But not fond of this area here. I love that blue, and then it just went off. So let's see what happens here. So if you're watching and you happen to be a person who does poured paintings and you're noticing something obvious that I'm doing wrong, or even if it's not obvious, that you think I'm doing wrong, I would love to hear from you. So, I don't think this worked out very well. I think it came out nice at the beginning, but I think, oh, look, it looks like I've got one of those devils in there. But I think perhaps I don't have my things properly mixed. I think the colors are great. Well, they're golden colors, they should be. I'm just going to set. Okay, so I think it's time for me to thank people for coming and to thank them for being witnesses to my experiments. I think I actually have too much paint on there. Look at that. That's a lot of paint. Well, I am going to I'm going to scrape this off, and we will try something different on this beautiful piece of wood next time. Next time, what I might do is have a finish on the wood, and I'll use exactly the same one. I'll do it exactly the same way, unless I get some really good advice. And the thing I will have is a painted slick surface. So that's what I'm thinking right now. So please let me know if you have any other wonderful ideas. It left a beautiful thing on the bottom, but it's in the wood grain. So maybe just even finishing removing the, I'm not going to wipe it because I like that. Okay, here we go. I got to get to the end of my thing. So thank you for joining us today. You can find us here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Central to do demonstrations and obviously experiment and answer your questions about the products. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday.